We're doing the dang thing. We're doing the dang thing. Overambition and hubris run amok today. We're gonna, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna see how far we get. We're gonna see if I end up back here this evening finishing it and or tomorrow morning. Because here's what you do. Self-imposed nonsensical scheduling is that's my thing. Why schedule it for a week away when we can try to do it all in less than 24 hours? So the box has been sitting here on the old bench here for a little while now, and I thought, when the second chassis came in, I immediately thought, we've kind of tricked my wife into rock crawling. Did I build Sheila front bumper yet? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sheila isn't even currently drivable. So definitely have not fabricated her front bumper. So as we have tricked my wife, I was like, we might as well build her one of these. What am I gonna do with two of them, right? I mean, they both live here, but what am I gonna do with two of them? And this is a little easier on me because I already have one, so I can cheat a little bit. I had the notion. I was going to do repairs on Sheila today, and then I was like, ugh, I don't think I want to get that greasy and that covered in sand. So I was like, I wonder if we can obtain the necessary pieces to build this. And I'm not saying that we have, but I'm saying it's potentially possible. And there's going to be this one. This one is going to be proper Canyon stuff because we are going to be struggling with fitment from the go. I honestly, would I have it any other way? I don't. I have an absolute lack of suspension links in the 55 to 65 millimeter lengths in both straight and high clearance. So we're already going to stretch the wheelbase on this one. Yes, this is another Punk's. This is a green anarchist. So how long is that link? So I had to go to 6570 because I managed to find two 65s. So this is going to lengthen the front out. It looks like exactly 10 millimeters. But I'm sure many of you can already assume that I could not. I lamented over it in the last Punk's build. That yeah, your Bosch doesn't, your Bosch isn't suppressed. I lamented over the $90 link set. Try as I may, try as I might, I couldn't get myself to order another $90 link set. So we're going with what we have on hand. These are some of the Vanquish from the Tower Blowout sale. So all of the fronts, if these fronts work, all of the fronts will be titanium. I'm not even going to bother to put rod ends on the others until we know. Oh, wait, let's... Either everybody left Or like it says concurrent viewers 12. Oh, there, 75. All right, cool. So I did order one bag of links. Haven't seen the raccoon at my place in a while. Oh, you mean a raccoon, not the raccoon. Can't you just measure from the existing $90 link kit and copy? I don't have any 55 nor 60 millimeter links, so I cannot replicate. These are 65s and 70s. That's as close as I could get. And also, the rears are a little bit of a thing. They're both double bend, and they are quite long. So the closest I could get to approximate that was I ordered a package of RC Lions links for the Gladiator, and these come with the squiggler bend. So you can see that's not the cleanest bend you've ever seen. Clamp them in the vise, hit them with the torch, and bend them the other way. So we have kind of replicated what's over there. To what degree? Oh, time will tell. Also, this guy sits at around, he's a little shorter than I would like. He's like 325. This guy will be maybe 340. This one's gonna be kind of long because, I mean, I could draw these in a little. Yeah, I'm gonna say 25 over this. It could be up to 350. Now, 350 opens you up to full 575s. But I can still get away with 525s. And I have a couple sets of 525s. So, you know what we'll do? We'll find out as we go. That is what we will do. I was mocking this up because, oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. This one will be very, she has no idea. That's what drew her to it. She has no idea I'm building it. She had no idea she would be a part of this. So that's all working out for us, right? Okay, we're gonna throw caution to the wind. We're gonna throw caution to the wind and potentially end this before it even begins by going with the stainless set screws. Maybe they're plated. No, they're very much stainless. Swamp kitties or gators? No, the guy who boops everything, he calls them swamp puppies. So I would guess a swamp kitty would be a different thing. What am I doing? Right. Got it. Okay, we got to pop these out. I've learned their prints basically accommodate the little tiny Traxxas balls that come in everything. And you think, well, what am I going to use those for? Well, this. 6'5", 6'4", close enough. All right. If I feel even the slightest amount of resistance, we'll bail out. These angly front guys, I mean, I'm sure there's a performance thing to it, but doesn't mean I have to like it. This seems all right. I think maybe Maybe not. Maybe not. Link Olympics! Woo! I think we need an offset at the axle, but I think we need a straight at the skid. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm going to use every rod end I've got. Is there a set of high clearance links for the TRX Force Sport you would recommend? Whatever's cheap. Like anything that doesn't have a kicked skid isn't going to make a whole lot of use out of high clearance links. They can improve things a little bit. It's going to help your breakover nominally, but until the skid is at an angle, you're not really making use of all of it. Okay. Yes. Yes. Semi-confirmed. Yeah, this set for the Gladiator was like, I don't even think it was $20. Boy, once those are assembled, you can really tell they're titanium. Tell you what. I sort of, one person noticed. I was at the IKEA because my sister-in-law voluntarily lives in a tiny house, and I mean a tiny house, like smaller than the shed that I'm standing in right now. And she has not learned how to live vertically. So she went down and spent like $1,000 on stuff at IKEA to help her live more vertically. And when we were there, the guy that's in the back there, you see the Matrix is going behind the Luffy and the robots. That thing has been discontinued. What is its name? It has a name. That thing has been discontinued for probably like 2 years. And there was just one sitting on the shelf, and I bought it. I meant to buy it 2 years ago. It does the Matrix. Come on. I think I just need constant flashing lights. How come links are never straightforward? They just never are. It's a constant trial. Well, I mean, unless you know, when we're trying to make something to be our own thing, it becomes a Link Olympics almost immediately. But we are cab only, so there is an element of freedom, as I don't have to worry about wheelbase. The wheelbase will be what the wheelbase will be. It's a nice holistic approach to wheelbases. So this thing's going to be lanky. It may indeed end up being full 575s. Oh, what is 350? 13 3/4. 13 3/4 on the current rod ends is looking like what it's going to be now. I can shorten up the rear a little bit. The front is what the front is. I can't really shorten. Without ordering links, I can't shorten the front down. So that was the thing. I dug through the bins, and I was looking at what options I have on hand for axles. I wasn't seeing anything that I liked. So I went on old Amazon. This is yesterday, mind you, like yesterday afternoon. And I was like, what axles can I get here tomorrow? And I just spent the money, despite the fact that I do have another set. I didn't even think of that. My brain was so set on building this portal that it ignored the fact that I still have a set of nylon cap restraints, which would have made this very easy and more economical. But instead, they had a set of clear Mias Capras, right? So I ordered the Mias Capras. Can you do a video on just the Endura hard Toyota body, like pros versus cons versus RC four-wheel drive? Well, it's gigantic compared to an RC four-wheel drive. Absolutely enormous. So this is the 82 cab that I've been working on for the Rainforest Challenge truck. And the IR60 is the size of a cliffhanger. Like that looks, because we got that wide roof. This is a full, this thing is sitting on like, it's a 313, 314 wheelbase. So this has got a full inch more wheelbase than the RC four-wheel drive stuff. Like this is just regular size. This thing, if it didn't have its fenders cut out, the fenders are like, the fender arches are like that big. I wish these fender arches were bigger. But, like, that's the same size as like a Cliffhanger or a Coyote. Just fitted the R60C into a CJ7. Bunch of messing getting chassis pieces right length, but a chunk lighter than the CJ. Yeah, it's not surprising. How do people do the smooth curve rear links where it's all one curve? You mean how do they bend them? I'm assuming a machine does it. With 330mm wheelbase on straights, what track width range would you recommend for a crawler, not trail? I like to stay at or under 250. Did he ask a... Did I miss one? Is there a set of high clearance links for... Oh, yeah. So just leave it as and spend my money on a new set of tires? I would, yeah. In the reveal video for the IR60 that is sitting on clear anodized portals. Yeah, the clear anodized axles, I've heard nothing concrete, official, nor definitive, but I've heard some people saying, oh, that's an axle they used to make. That's an axle they're going to make. I don't know why, if they were going to release it, I don't know why they wouldn't release it like at the same time. I don't know. I don't know what they're waiting for. Oh. I think in the video from Endura's was with the Who crawler axles. I've seen them on AliExpress. They did say Endura on the tube, but that doesn't really mean anything. Thoughts on building a mullet using a Leaf Link hybrid chassis? I mean, I think if you want to, if you want to do things for the sake of doing them, sure. I don't like a mullet is adding performance. That's a pure performance thing, and Leafs are not. As much as I find long travel Leafs somewhat intriguing, I will be the first to state that they're never going to beat linked. If you look at full-size vehicles, one of the things they do is take the Leafs off and put links on. Links will give you more articulation. It's more predictable. You now have control over the geometry. You can set your own pinion angles. You can do all of those things. So, like, if you want to build something true scale, IFS in the front, Leafs in the back, and make a Chevy pickup, then sure, but acknowledge that you're heading over into scale territory, and you're just 1,000% sacrificing performance. That's fine. Not everything has to be pure performance. Chose to use offset axial body posts in the stuck CJ mount holes. Hood will be satin black so the posts are buttoned in. Yeah, mine is probably going to end up with posts as well. They replied about those axles on Facebook, and the axles are coming soon. Leaf portal rear, IFS front. That would be horrible. Horrible. Like, it would take so much. Well, I mean, I guess if you underslung the Leafs, put the Leafs under the tube, you can get away with that. Otherwise, it's going to be the full jackrabbit. It's going to be sitting at like an angle like that. If you've never driven independent suspension in a crawling application, many people will say something like, oh man, I was blown away by how capable it actually is, because your expectation of IFS on rocks is nothing. You have no expectation. So if it performs any better than that, people are automatically like, hey, this ain't bad at all. I already did trailing arm rear, IFS front. It lives in Norway now. It is a novelty, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with building novelties. But it's not scale. It's not performance. It's something. So, the one set of axles, as I was finishing, the one set of axles that was available for delivery the next day was clear Mias Capras, offset Capras. IFS, you mean it falls sometimes? Yeah. It frequently scrapes. So they arrived, and I took them out of the box, and my eyes went, that doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem, something about this. Use your eagle eyes and tell me what's wrong with that. Not that there's something explicitly wrong with it, but there's something explicitly okay. And I double checked and made sure that I wasn't just in that clicky click 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 click. Oh, that's available for delivery. Order in the next 2 hours. Clicky click 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 click. It wasn't that. No. When the box arrived, my concerns grew immediately, because the outside cardboard box, you know how Mias does the double? They've got a box, and then they got the Mias box inside of it. The tape on that box, Eddie Design has got it exactly. The tape on that box was not sealed, nor was the tape on the inner box sealed, on the white Mias box. Now, all of the extras were there, the spare parts, the bag of screws, the shims, all of that was in there. But as far as I know, you can't buy that combo. You can't buy the Toyota spec pumpkin on the right front axle. But it did not have an LPN label on it. There was no LPN label. So I don't know, see, this box never had tape on it. This box was never sealed. So, and no markings on the box at all. Usually there's like a thing. Yeah, it's a 1-of-1 build, because we've got the right-hand pumpkin, which you can't buy, so far as I know. Low numbers today, lots of people watching the sports ball. I mean, don't get me reinitiated in another Discord rant about, Yeah, someone grabbed one of the rear axles and tossed it in because the axles are brand new. No one has touched these. These are brand new. Yeah, those definitely. The Mias always need. That's not too bad. They always need an outer shim. Look at that, though. So, I just accommodated. It's what we do. I accommodate. I already had the powertrain ready, and I had a number of gearboxes. I knew I did not want to do an OD3. I had told the guys at Punks that I was going to do Nod 2. And the default for the Nod 2 is kicked, which would have worked. And I was ready to mount everything up. But with the pumpkin being on the wrong side, being on the right side, let's not call it the wrong side, I built myself an adapter plate, and this is the really small Nod 2, the very small one. I've got a 14-tooth pinion in there. There is not a speck of grease in there. Not a single speck. Because we've got to run it backwards. In order to get anything to line up, we've got to aim the motor to the back. So, not a speck of grease, because I have no idea what the correct pinion for this is. These are full Capras. None of the cheat codes were available until like next week. Or I would have bought a set of the cheat codes just to say that I've built something on the cheat codes. Not that I really care about 5 millimeters of width. I have 2 sets of Punks wheels. We can go full Venetian snares and go pink green. We got the breast cancer awareness wheels, and then I also got a set of green scythes that match the chassis. I've got a set of 8-hole from OT6. Also, I'm not overwhelmingly concerned. On the Mia site, it's the cheat codes that have the right pumpkin option. These sure look like the 200 and change. These don't look like cheat code width. Yeah, these are full Capra. Like 219, I think is what they say they are. You can tell that's a 4-wheel steer rear axle because there's no brass knuckle. Right you are. Yeah, 219 front and rear. That didn't even occur to me. Yeah, they're supposed to have the big weights. So, we got robbed a little. We got robbed out of weights. I don't know if I have any. I think I might have a thin pair. Although I might not need it. The raccoon echoes my feelings on anything named cheat code, cheaters, anything like that. Anyone who's going to break the rules is not going to announce it. Pin to pin. 219. So I pre-cut myself a little piece of aluminum, which allows me to put this in pusher fan mode, flip it around to the back. I kind of adjusted it to where I think we should have clearance to mount links to the inside. Although if we have to mount links to the outside, I don't, you know what? I don't. We're going to go with Lizzie's to start, and we will adapt as necessary because everything here is double shear. I didn't even notice the weight thing. It's not ultimately an issue. It's my own fault anyway for rushing the process. But the filming of Wheelin' Wednesday this week, I wouldn't have picked up on it if it wasn't for me being on the Mias website. Yeah. I forgot about the weight. Do you know if mounting spacing is the same between nylon straights and the Capras? Yes. The straights, everything is in the exact same position. I know this actually and factually because when I was setting up that punks, the gold punks, not the green punks, when I was setting up the gold one, he was originally built on the Air 44 width, and I opted to put him on Capra width straights and use really narrow hubs and whatnot to bring him back into the width because he was coming out overly narrow and I didn't want to run like -10s on there. So he's on Capra width. This will be on Capra width, but even wider, I think. But you know what? You know, we can roll with it. I'm freed up more. Hell, we could put whatever we want. We could put Sedonas on this. We could put whatever we want on this. Yeah, this thing's gonna be long. And I do have a number of 575s not in service. I've got some PBX AT hardcores. I've got, will it look down the barrel? Look at that. That's like mostly occluded. There we go. Some great molding. Are Capra axles the same size as OT6 Wizard axles? No. Wizard axles are basically AR-44 width, roughly. Capra axles are a fair bit wider. Does this thing use a nut? Yes. So we need a 27. Yeah, Capra is shooting, Wizard is shooting for more class 2. I still stand on the fence in regards to cut and shuts in our day and age. I don't know if it's... I mean, I know the guys are doing it for like mini and stuff, but I'm not sold on it still. Oh! What I was going to say is, personal opinion, but I don't think I will have that many people who disagree with me. Beyond all other sports, I would state that the sport globally known as football, but known here in the United States as soccer, is, let's put it as kindly as possible and say that it is the sport best suited to just watching the highlights. Unless you want to watch guys run around in an absolutely massive field of grass for an hour and a half. And after that hour and a half, it's very likely that the score will be 1-0. Sometimes it might be 0-0. And any sport that ends in a draw is never going to capture the attention of a broader American audience. Hockey score is roughly the same most of the time, but more entertaining to watch? Yeah. It's far too low scoring. Look at the size. Bring up a soccer pitch, right? Look at the width of the field and look at the size of the goal. It's insane. It's like that wide on this massive field. I've said this before. Yes, also not enough fistfights and the flopping. Don't get me started on the flopping. There are two easy ways to fix soccer to make it appeal to an American audience. The easiest one, put it on a much smaller field. Much smaller. Like, I had no idea how much bigger a soccer pitch was than a football field. It's like well bigger than that. And that's crazy. I don't care how many guys are on the team. Make it a much, much smaller field. Or, and I think this one would be more interesting, the goal runs the entire width of the field, but you get 4 goalies. That's the one that I would personally prefer to see the massive, the goal, the full width of the field, but you get 4 goalies. But as it is now, like, you need to start getting into some double-digit scores. And I'm a lifelong baseball fan, and people would say, oh, baseball is boring. No. There's no intermediate stuff in baseball. It's a game of outcomes. Man has ball. Goal of man with ball, don't let man with stick hit ball with stick. Throw strikes at man with stick is out. If man with stick is successful, hits ball now in air, ball now, it is now on the onus of it is on whoever it's going towards. That guy is now involved. He either catches it or he doesn't. There's an outcome. If he catches it, what if there's a guy on third? Well, now he's got to throw it, and he's got to try. It's one guy battling another guy all the time. That's all it is. It's a game of outcomes. Every time that pitcher lets go of the baseball, there's an outcome. Every time. He might hit him. The guy might hit it. It might be way up. The catcher might not catch it. There's an outcome every single time. In soccer, it goes like this. Kick, kick, kick. Run, run, run. Maybe shoot. Maybe not. Maybe defense stops you. Maybe we go back the other way. And then we go back the other way again. And then we go back the other way again. And we do it for an hour and a half. I guess there's a third option for soccer. It's just sudden death all the time. Whoever scores first, game over, they win. They can play multiple rounds, but that wouldn't even work. Because soccer would draw it out to last the entire day. Because no one would score. Yeah, Mr. Work points it out correctly. It's the most popular sport in the world because all you needed is 2 people and a ball. That is correct. And the ability, I guess, to run around. That helps as well. Each go back the other way is an outcome. No, it isn't. It's not. That's the definition of not an outcome. Scoring or not scoring are the only 2 options in soccer. Everything that happens in the middle doesn't make a difference. If a baseball game ends 7-0, we want to know how did they get 7 and how did they get nothing? What if that guy pitched a no-hitter? What if he pitched a perfect game and nobody got on base? He just stopped everybody. What if he threw one of those 81 pitch complete games and just dominated the other side? Soccer, they run this way and they score or they don't. And then they run this way and then they score or they don't. And then they run this way and there's everything will ultimately boil down to the ultimate outcomes. But soccer scores goals or doesn't score goal. That's it. You could say, oh, baseball is either hit the ball or don't hit the ball. But the pitcher could lose grip of it and throw it into the stands. He could hit the batter right in the head 96 miles an hour. There's a lot more. It doesn't, and they add an indefinite time to the clock. It's mind-numbing. Yeah. American soccer made better. 13 balls in play at all times. One of the balls has a spring-loaded raccoon in it. Goal is to not catch rabies. That does really sound like we've Americanized, honestly. They asked me when my kids were young. They're like, are you going to put them in soccer? And I was like, hell no. My children are American. It's so boring. It's so boring. Here's what I enjoy about soccer. I enjoy watching how absolutely mental people get about soccer. I would say soccer has the most fervent, nationalist, willing to participate in violence, sports fans of any sport. I mean, baseball fans will beat up a guy in the parking lot, but holy crap, soccer fans will light a stadium on fire. I can't remember what I was watching, but I was watching one where the guy was traveling, and he was somewhere in South or Central America, and his buddy was like, let's go to the game. And when they went to the game, the two fan bases are completely separated by like chain link fencing. So the fans of one team go into one end of the stadium and the fans of the other team go into the other end of the stadium, and they are not allowed to mingle at all, or they will literally start a riot. And I'm like, now that I appreciate. I appreciate meaningless, fervent, insanity level sports, like they, as if they are involved in the outcome of the game. Like New York and Boston fans. I think lately we've kind of lost that because it feels like anymore New York and Boston are never good in the same year. So it's usually just one team showing up in the other team's city to beat the crap out of them in any sport, whatever it might be. New York, they should do that in Philly. New York is going to be riding the high of the Knicks for, I don't know. That'll carry them well into next year, right? They won't care what happens in any of the other sports. 53 years for the Knicks. Did you see that ludicrous display last night? Oh, man. That is an excellent IT crowd bit. Ludicrous display. I never understood sports riots after a game for winning or losing. Blows my mind. And I've seen ones where the riot is bigger when they win. When you consider what makes a good all-around athlete, strength, stamina, coordination. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah. The same for cross-country skiers and biathletes. But what is the more interesting part of the biathlon? Watching a guy huff and puff on skis or watching a guy shoot after he huffed and puffed on skis? Soccer is just... I mean... I guess if you grew up on it, you know... Is soccer a you either like it or you don't kind of thing? Kind of feels like it is. That looks long. 350. So I could pull that in about 10 down to like 340, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to rock it. The fact that you know what the IT crowd is? Yeah. Yeah. And look, it's out of range. My arms are too short. I've got the box set of DVDs. And the Mighty Boosh too. I don't know, honestly, I think Mighty Boosh might be more obscure. Aren't all those Olympic sporting shoots aerosoft guns? There's not any real firearms. No. There's air gun and there's also rifle. It's all 22s. But what they do is, in the last Olympics, I watched one of those shooters somewhere from Southeast Asia put 3 consecutive shots in the same hole. Absolutely mental. Through peep sights. That's mad. Where are the rest? Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe. Ugh. We gotta. We're gonna have to do some. We're gonna have to do some mocking to see where these are gonna go. That should be enough angle for breakover, I guess. Thing looks more waspy than anything we've done before. Yeah, there is definitely. Oh, yeah. So, differences between the nylons and the Capras. The spacing between the lower and the upper, I might need 70s for the uppers and 70s for the lowers. And if that's possible, I might be able to run all 65s. If football was just shootouts, first to X number of goals, Americans would watch 100%. And they could do it indoors on a basketball court. Oh, by the way, thanks, Miata and D.I. Rosa. I always see it as Del Rosa because we have a local street called Del Rosa. So whenever I see it, I think Del Rosa. Okay, I have 465s. I think it might need the same length. Then we can shorten the front up. Link, Olympics. That's how we get it done. So that's 105 and a hair. That's how you institute American measurements into the metric system. As someone who does competitive shooting, and I'm ranked top 10% of all people who compete, Olympic shooting is insanely difficult. 22 LR ammo isn't accurate at all compared to other rifles. Yeah. How about a soccer on a basketball court with the hoops as the goals? Now I'm on board. What is that thing that the crazy, somebody in South America, futsal, where they it's like tennis and soccer and hacky sack all got swirled together and they kick it down in, what city would it be? Ontario? Not too far from me, maybe 30 miles away. I was out riding the bike and it looks like tennis courts. And I was like, what are they doing? And guys are jumping and doing windmill kicks and stuff. It's mad, bruv. I guess it would be volleyball, but only with your feet. I'd watch that. I watched some futsal. During the Winter Olympics, the biathlon had the biggest crowds. In the Winter Olympics, my favorite things are biathlon and curling. You know why? They're sports of outcomes. I was watching, was it Winter Olympics? It was Winter Olympics. And the guy who won the snowboard, it was either the big air or the half pipe. Look. I don't ride snowboards. I don't do that kind of stuff, right? But there's no way on this choose your color, earth, that the guy who won the gold medal won the damn gold medal. The dude who got the silver threw a trick that had never been landed in competition ever, gets the silver, and the other guy who basically did the exact same run in the finals that he did in the round before, magically and miraculously scored like 2 points higher. That's, pardonnez-moi français, bullshit. With every advancing day, week, month, and year, I grow more distasteful of sports, games, whatever they might be, because I know there's the argument that it's not a sport unless there's defense involved. Any sport judged by a judge, get out. Get out. The only way they can bring it back is that the competitors judge it, and the scores are all right out in the open. Right out in the open. So if some dude tries to be like, haha, I'm going to give him a 7, everybody sees it, and they're like, yeah. Figure skating, snowboard, anything where you do tricks in the air, they're doing things that appear to be physically impossible. They land it perfectly, and then the judges are like, 2/10 deduction. Hell no. I'm not about it. I'd rather watch soccer, honestly, because at least with soccer, you know they're not going to get robbed. Okay, so this is 5 millimeters shorter. So if I use the same ends, the 6570 should be the jam. So I would need, it's just like the others, it's 5 millimeters off. Hopefully these are not too fat. Obstacle course racing is going to be in the next Olympics. Hell yeah. That's like Tony Hawk getting the silver when he threw the 900 or Travis Pastrana getting second when he did the double back. Yeah. Or if we're gonna acknowledge that judging is going to be inconsistent, then just give every fan a little box on their seat, and the fans can vote for it. And they'll be like, oh, here's my favorite. Oh my God. Here's my favorite one. The dude does his run in whatever, right? He's on the half pipe. He's on a snowboard, he's on a skateboard, and he's on whatever he's on. And they get to the end, and the outcome is not what anyone would anticipate. And then they say, well, here's what the judges were seeing. That like this, the way, instead of grabbing his board like this, he grabbed it like this. That just makes it so much more difficult. Look, if what you're doing is so obscure and arcane that anyone seeing it cannot tell the difference visually, then literally what are we doing? At this point, what are we doing? Is the guy on the thing, whatever it might be, board with wheels, board without wheels, shoes with knives, whatever is being used, who are you skating for? Who are you riding for? Are you there to please the fans, or are you there to do something obscure and technical because you know that's what the judges are looking for? I don't like that. I don't like that they've taken that competition and basically made it to where the average person doesn't know what's going on. Oh, that guy's going to do better. It's like, well, I mean, I would have used some motorsport as a comparison, but you know, NASCAR's trying to ruin NASCAR if they haven't already ruined it. The FIA has already ruined Formula One, so that already happened. MotoGP is doing their very best to ruin MotoGP. Luckily, the Isle of Man TT is still a thing that exists, so One of the reasons that people watch motorsports, and no one can deny this, this is an objective truth, is that there's an element of danger. Somebody could die. Somebody could die. I remember seeing a video a couple of years ago where some guy was talking about how drone racing was going to be one of the future things. No, it is absolutely not. No one is going to watch drone racing because there's no danger. You know what people are going to watch? That ultimate robot fighting thing where the robots beat the living crap out of each other and one of them dies. That's just gladiator combat. That's just future gladiator combat. That's all that is. So people love that. Agreed, NASCAR has completely ruined itself. The whole thing about like the race to the whatever, where they slow down and everybody meets back up again. What are we doing? This is not in the spirit of sport. The guy that's out in the farthest in the front is the guy that wins. Trophy trucks start, finish, and anything goes in between. Yeah, I like when they run them on the what is it in Australia? They run them on the tarmac, as they would call it. Amazing. Amazing. There are a couple times where I feel like the New Zealanders and the Australians have out-America'd us. Number one is jet sprinting. And number two is running trophy trucks on pavement. Because that seems like a very American thing to do. The Germans really love tractor pulls, too. Yeah, NASCAR tried to make it too much like other sports and put intermissions in between a race. No. No. Now, if you put people in the drones, yeah. Unwilling. Like, what happened to Red Bull Air Race? Red Bull Air Race was amazing. NASCAR forgot they were born on moonshine running. That is correct. They did indeed. Rallycross is pretty cool, and I will agree with that statement, except that they keep trying to make everything electric. I don't have a problem with electric race vehicles if they can make the electric race vehicles better. We're not ready. Motorsports is a great place to birth that kind of stuff, like how all the Le Mans prototypes are hybrids now, basically. But what's the best part about the Le Mans hybrids? Is it the fact that they're hybrids, or is it the fact that when that Cadillac kicks its engine on, it sounds like the gates of hell swinging open? I think it's probably that. Drone racing with underslung pilots hanging on the bottom. Oh, Australian supercars, also very good. Especially on, what's that track down there? The one that's just on like a big hill? Is it Bathurst? They got some crazy stuff in Australia. Nothing sounds as wild as the anti-lag on rally cars. It's definitely up there. Just keep dumping fuel into it. How do you maintain your boost? Yeah, Bathurst. It's just like, it's barely wider than the cars. It's just so much crashing. Yeah, Isle of Man TT will remain my favorite motorcycle event. Why is that? If I flip that around, it won't line up. Okay, is this a rear axle problem? Okay, so this little fella right here, would we all agree that that hole, if we had an imaginary beam that went through all those holes, it would be in a line, right? I'm not wrong in that. I don't know if I can get this under here. I can't tell. I can't tell. This is, the threading is on the outside, which leads me to believe that that should be flipped around. Who do I have running Mias Capras? Who do I have running Mias Capras that's accessible? Oh. No, it points forward. So I guess they just... That's the part for a front axle. It's supposed to be on the other side. It is what it is. This guy will be super authentic, weird canyon build. This is the way to do it, honestly. Because this way, we'll have to take it apart 7 times. It is possible to install that link mount backwards. Yeah, but I went and looked at the other one, and this is the correct way, with it leaning forward like that. Because, yeah, you can definitely see, looking down the barrel, those holes are in a straight line. If I flip that around and mount it the other way, it's going to make this link longer, and it's going to squonk the axle over to one side. It's a technical term. My goal is to have this ready for Film and Wheel and Wednesday, which is, I don't even know. 24 hours from now will be 12:36. I want to have this ready in like 40 hours. It'll be fine. Everything will be perfect. I would rather watch any of the Red Bull events than soccer. I can say that easily. And I mean the soapboxes, I mean Flugtag, Air Race, the absolute insanity that is Red Bull Hardline. All of the Red Bull stuff is absolutely mental. What am I doing? What am I doing? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. That's about 3. So probably a 12. That's probably 12s. This is a punks anarchist of my own intention. Is it going to work? I mean, sure, probably. No guarantees. Women's college softball. I was just watching, good old thanks, shout out John Boy. I was watching some women's college. That is, women, here's why, if you haven't appreciated women's college softball, here's why you should. They go old school, like Iron Man. The one pitcher in some game threw like 160 pitches. That's insane. Like, no, in no other organized ball and stick sport are they letting the starting pitcher throw 150 pitches. You'd think that instead of 2026, it was 1926. That's amazing. I disagree with the statement that I need green axles. I think there's such a thing as too much. And I think green axles would be too much. That's like saying that this one needs gold axles, and it absolutely does not. I think over coordination is definitely a thing that we can fall into. Now, if you were to say it needs pink axles, I would probably be on board with that. I'd throw pink axles on here. Contrasting color. I think green and silver is going to work great. Yeah, 160 pitches at 85 miles an hour. I still remember back in the Barry Bonds days, and they had Jenny Finch pitch to those Major League Baseball players, and they couldn't get anywhere near it. Yeah, their pitching motion doesn't cause the downarm damage. Yeah. What would have a higher performance ceiling? Anarchist with Capra axles or a Rhino UA1? Probably a UA1. A Sporty is going to get farther than a Class 2 or a Class 3. Just because of the clearances. It's even more waspy. It tends to be even lighter weight. Oh, yeah, where is Mr. Hurley? Huh. Where's that guy at? But, and I've mentioned this before, I don't enjoy driving the UA1 nearly as much as I do the Anarchists. These are great. This is an excellent expression of Class 2 performance. Although this one is definitely more Class 3. Probably working? Yeah, probably. Currently going through a Link Olympics trying to fit Vanquish F10 Portal Axle onto a 10-3 builder's kit. Do I need to sort out the panhard and servo links first? Start, number one, you do front lowers. Set the wheelbase first. And then you're going to do the front upper to set your pinion angle. And then you're going to do panhard and drag link together. There's a Class 1 comp coming up near me in southern Arizona, and they're allowing up to 4.55. That's crazy. The only good 455 tire is the Baja Pro XS, the new G8 Baja Pro XS. Is the terrain that you will be operating on, will that additional clearance be advantageous, or would you be better off just running a 425 FYR or something like that, something in the mini class size? Because if they're allowing bigger tires, my first thought would go straight to 425 FYR. I have a sinking suspicion that front upper link is going to hit the chassis rail. Oh, I do too. I do too as well. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm already there with you. This is not going to go smoothly up front. We're gonna have links to the outside of the chassis in the front. Almost certainly. That's just. It's like that's what the universe wants to do. Okay, now in the front, I might end up having to remove the front screws and swing this thing down out of the way, depending on where the links go. Ooh, it could be a problem with the links. Is it acceptable to bend that link to clear the rail? That's another option, is high clearance, and just mount them sideways so I can either go to the outside or go to the inside. I am almost certain that this isn't going to fit. If it does, that's a good name, actually. Spearmint is a good name. I'm kind of on board with that. Look at these little, are these, I guess it's enough room for a 70 amp? Did I have the same size? No, I got the bigger ones. I'm sorry, the bigger ones. Look at these things. Beep. I can just cut some Kydex and make them bigger because we remember the body that it's getting, which is also green and silver. Didn't you have to fit almost S-shaped links on the Tranquish? Yeah. Yeah, his panhard bar was crazy. His panhard and his front upper, both crazy. Because getting TRX4 axles under there, nobody wanted it to happen. Okay. All right. Okay, I measured that. That is not nearly long enough now. It's like 10 millimeters short. That's a full 10 millimeters short. Where's that pinion angle right there? Yeah. So instead of 65s, I think I need 75s. Put a Rhino ESC in it and call it a Spearmint Rhino. Wait a minute. Is Spearmint Rhino known? Does that exist in more places? I thought that was a Southern California thing. I feel like Hugo has moved on from us. Oh, 100%. Yeah. We might not see Hugo again. We might have seen Hugo for the final time. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. How many 75s do you have? 2. Why do you have them? Because I bought takeoff links. I was filling out a cart at Jenny's, and I bought some TRX4 links to help fill up my cart. It's the only reason I have these. I prefer the library. Wait, is Porter Stout from Southern California? You had spearmint rhinos in England? I swore that was something that only occurred here. What is a spearmint rhino? Spearmint Rhino is also a famous London club patroned by footballers and such. Now, see, the filthy Americans would not know that. Here in America, it's a place where ladies take their clothes off. I feel like we have quite a few of those places, but that is Santa Ana. Yeah. And all, but Traxxas detrailing the high trail model seems very on brand. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, here's what Traxxas is going to do. We're going to take the TRX4 and we're going to make it tall. And then we're going to take the tall one and we're going to make it short again. That's vintage Traxxas. That's near perfect Traxxas behavior. Check out that's why whenever anybody says, and you can't fault them, when they say, have you seen the new Traxxas? Which one? There hasn't been a new one in coming up on a decade. So what are we talking about? New Traxxas. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when they do something new. I just married my woman at the old courthouse last Monday. Hey! Congratulations on your nuptials. It's good to see people still getting married. My youngest says that a bunch of their friends are getting pregnant all of a sudden. So it's good to see. It's good to see that still happening. Teen pregnancy needs to make a comeback, doesn't it? The recently released Traxxas, yes. Yes, the recently released Traxxas. Yeah, because all TRX4s are just a TRX4. Didn't we have an experiment rhino in the City of Industry? I'm sure they did. I'm trying to remember. Okay, this'll put me back. Speaking of, this is perfect segue material. Speaking of nuptials, the last time I was at a place where, and I'm still going to call them ladies, where the ladies take their clothes off was in Stanton, which anyone from Orange County will know where Stanton is. Just up the road, just up Beach Boulevard from like Knott's Berry Farm. Other side of the what? 91? Just up over there. That was the last time I was in a place where the ladies are. And that would have been, oh God, 30 years ago? I think that's probably 30 years ago. Teen pregnancy was called starting a family, especially at the church I grew up in. Yeah. Between Cypress and Garbage Grove. Good. Oh, man. That's how you know OC locals. My grandmother was hunting to HB local, and she forever referred to Garden Grove as Garbage Grove from way back. Like, I never remember her not referring to Garden Grove as Garbage Grove. Kind of like how we have our fun and colorful names for the locales of the high desert. Desperia. Yeah. This is going to go in steps. I think the newest thing from Traxxas is built off the platform and executive platform is the sledge. And hasn't the sledge been around for a while? My old lady is from Long Beach. The LBC. I never knew where Torrance was until we had a friend from Torrance. And it's basically where the 91 freeway ends. It just dumps out into like an oil field. And Torrance is one of those places where you actively ask, why did they... But why here, though? What was the... what was the thinking when they were like, right here. Build Torrance right here. No. Tustin? Torrance. Torrance. Tustin is where the blimp hangars used to be. Good old Crime Manor. Well, I grew up in San Bernardino, and nobody that's lived in San Bernardino hasn't called it San Bernardino at least once. That's what we kind of almost frequently call it. Hey, Fear the Farmers is from Torrance. Why there, though? Just Torrance. And suddenly, Torrance. I feel that way about a lot of that area, though. The whole Long Beach area where they call Long Beach LA. And I'm like, yeesh. Not really. I mean, I guess. LA wants to call everything LA. So we got to remove that. And then we got to swing this down. This is... Hey, they're going to mount to the inside, it looks like. We're going to throw a drive shaft on there and see if it clears. Fontucky. Damn, this is stuff that only this is locals only right now. Thing about Fontucky, though, places like Cherry Valley are way more redneck than Fontucky is. I mean, nowadays. You know, it's been a minute. Anything east of Boulder is just Denver. I've heard Highland called Highland. Yeah. We ain't got a lot going on around here. Redlands, Deadlands. Not anymore. Deadlands is turning into a good place to go to get shot on a Friday evening. They're doing all that work to try to clean the place up and try to feel and look tourist attractive. And, man, it's getting ugly. It's getting like my car got vandalized. I was born in Hawthorne. That's another LA place where no one would know it. Are any of your Wheeling Wednesday episodes near Eau Glen? They absolutely are. When we go to the, it was just a couple of weeks ago, when we go to that very narrow creek, that's Wildwood Canyon. So we're right there. And usually when we go there, depending on what time it is when we leave, we will go and eat at the OG Steakhouse. We'll eat at the Oak Glen Steakhouse up there. We didn't feel like it last week, so we went to the RPM. We went to Redlands Public Market. And I had birria, and it did not sit correctly with me. That is all the detail I will provide. But me and the birria, we had a bit of a struggle. Oh, this thing is lanky. Wait, how long is it now? How did I change an upper and the wheelbase just grew? Victor! No, 350. Still sitting at 350. We have a road called Heel Road, and the locals changed the sign to Hell Road. I'm fairly new here, and I was trying to figure out where you were. So one of your recent videos and recognized Brackett Airport. Yes. Birria is overrated. Just get the carne asada. We've got this place called like Reds. Like their specialty. They do birria fries. It's really good. It just I don't know. On that particular day, kind of felt like it felt a little bit like mistakes were made. And the 330 freeway has turned into the Friday night drag strip. It is tough to find an intersection down here in these parts where there's not the black swirls all over the road. It is unfortunate. And you know what? I don't mind those guys. because I don't live in a spot where they do like takeovers, so I don't have to worry about that stuff. But the Harley guys, they're the biggest. They're the biggest individual issue that I've got. Whatever you and the Queen get to do in WW Abroad, Crawler Canyon at the Grand Canyon sounds like a great idea. Little trucks, big hole. Oh, now we got a battle. Birria's overrated, and then we got Birria over Asada. Here's the thing about it. I think Birria is more of the pie, and carne asada is the cake, where you can really mess up a cake. But all pie is pretty good. I think that's kind of the way it runs with birria and asada. Because I don't think I've had birria that tasted, or like the experience of it was where you were like, ugh, this is a chore. But I have asada that was not done remarkably well. And it's like meat gum. You're just chewing on meat gum for a while. So you can mess one up more than the other one, I think. Loud-ass Harley riders are so inconsiderate. So we had one that would, I think the only appropriate phrase is, would rip ass up and down the street. We have a stop sign about 200 yards that way, because on one side of the street is a school, and on the other side of the street is the post office. So you hear him slowing down blah, 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 for the stop sign. And then he would kind of roll the stop sign and then just... And then as soon as he would get up to where there's like a little break and one subdivision stops and the next one starts, he lets off. You can hear him all the way. Hey, that guy got hit by a car, and I'm pretty sure it killed him. It either killed him or it took away his desire to ever ride a Harley again, because we were blissfully quiet for several years. And now we've got the new guy. And I'm a laissez-faire, I'm a live and let live kind of guy by nature. I want something bad to happen to that guy. Not like, okay, I'm not saying cripple him, right? Whatever happened to Mustang guy, he did the thing that we hoped would happen, which is he grew up. He still has that Roush F-150, and he drives it like he has to pay for his own house. I've seen him out going up and down the street before. He's not tearing ass. Is it the sound of the exhaust or how he drives it? It's how he drives it. The dude downshifts 3 times in the span of 250 yards. So it goes, bah, 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 and I want to kill him. I wouldn't. I'm not promoting violence. It's just if somebody said, hey, did you hear that guy on the like ghost gray Harley got hit by a truck? I'd be like, huh. He got tired for paying all those tires and gas. I think that's 100% right. When it's 5 something a gallon, you tend to drive a bit less like a buffoon. Whatever it takes, man. I realized there was probably an easier way to do this maneuver. Oh, nailed it! Maybe not. Those rear links are hilarious. Oh, okay. What we've done is made this thing so long. How's that pinion angle? That pinion angle's great. I've made this thing so long. This might be a 110 rig. Yeah. We're gonna smack it. We're gonna slap it together. That's what we're gonna do. Because my goal is to record a ghost ride. Well, non-ghost ride. Can't ghost ride this. This whip is unghost rideable. I'd like to record that tomorrow. Loud pipes save lives is BS. Yeah. There's a guy that keeps going down the highway near my house on a crotch rocket, always leaving in a lower gear, and it screams so loud it scares my dog. You can hear it for ages. Yeah. It's okay to wish ill of someone? Oh, good. Yeah. I never wished ill upon Kevin. I figured Kevin would smarten up, and it would appear that he did. Or can't afford it. Can't afford to be a goon anymore. Whatever it takes, you know. Oh no, these have to be flatheads. Let's see if this is right. See if we can get this front end to stop flopping around. Damn, this thing's gonna be slammed. Getting my first Zoku chassis for the base camp. Any recommendations? Just slap it together. You're gonna like it. It's basically a drop-in. We call the road behind our house the Royal Raceway. Diesel trucks and motorcycles all day and evening. Goon does mean something different to the young kids. It's true. That's true. But you know what? They keep stealing all the words. And they need to calm down. Did you see my email about the new RC four-wheel drive tires? I did. We'll see. I'm assuming that was RC four-wheel drive directly. So we'll see how long that takes. You know, they're in like Visalia. They're in California. They're like 4 hours away, 4.5 hours away from here. And their shipping sometimes takes a week. I mean, it just takes a little bit of pocket sand in a corner to take out a Harley rider. Yeah, unfortunately, our street is just straight. That's why they love it. There's no turning involved. We've never had a sport bike guy that rips up and down the street. Just Harleys. Second one, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 110s. Maybe 110s. Which is good. If it's a longer shock, that's great. I have those. Would an Amazon tricolor transmission work better on the CJ skid to get rid of the stock coffee grinder? You, if I remember correctly, you have an IR60 on it. So you should have better clearance. You want a dig box. Okay, you want a dig box. I would think the D1RC dig box would probably be the best choice because it's going to be so small, so low down. But if a tricolor will clear, yeah, it's going to be a lot quieter, a lot easier, smoother. Did I mention quieter? It's going to be quieter. Meet him out there one day. I'm challenged to race him with your fastest basher and be like, if I beat you, you got to stop. It doesn't really matter where you are. It takes a week for RC four-wheel drive to get something to you. Yeah. Yeah, I did say it out loud. So now there will be a sport bike guy. I like getting rowdy in an old toaster, the old XB. Nobody hears it and nobody cares. Is there a good 2-speed trans with a 3-gear bolt pattern? I don't know about good. There are a number of Amazon and AliExpress options. I'm running one in Clank. That thing is smooth as silk. They sell 2 different versions. One is just a 2-speed. Other one has 2-speed and dig. I just opted for the 2-speed version. I've literally never had a problem with it. The only problem with it would be it's not particularly light. So if you're trying to build something with an eye on weight, probably not the thing to go with. But other than that, mine's been great. We need like 85. 85 is going to be odd, is it not? Not. Okay, I'm just going with what fits. That's what we do. Drive shafts will be changed as necessary, but I only have one that's about 10 millimeters too long. Just want to see if it'll even fit. Yeah, that looks right. That looks right. Nice. It's probably going to require shimming throughout. But I have tomorrow. I have tomorrow to sort that out. Do you have a link to the dig box you mentioned? Oh, the D1RC one? You got to go either through D1RC or through like AliExpress, someplace like that. Have you ever tested RC4 Drive Trail Riders UB? No. I'm not familiar with that. It's going on a VS410 with fenders, so weight isn't a concern. Yeah. Do Mias nylon portals use the same link mounting positions as Mias straights? You know what? I don't know, but you know what? I can answer that. Like literally. We can do that. I know that the AR44 width and the Capra width definitely do. Okay, so let's go front axle to front axle. There's a nylon straight. Hey, the sawtooth has arrived. Wrong box. Yes. Wait. 3? Hi. 2. Yeah. Where? How do I? Right there. Okay, so basically identical. Basically identical. So like it's not going to if you're not changing links, it's not going to throw everything off. The difference will be uppers. So lowers and shock mounting positions exactly the same, but uppers are obviously going to be different because here's the uppers on the nylon straight and here's the uppers on the portal. They're right next to each other. So you will be changing your uppers. The good old Sawtooth himself. Good old Sawtooth Turner. I can't remember how this goes back in the box. There we are. So yes, lowers and shocks, yes. Uppers, obviously going from center to spread out because they're more a copy of F10 spacing on the uppers. Or Capra. Offset Capra. So, yes and no. I don't know if we answered anything. Yes and no. Did anyone see BG's video? There's a new radio with the recent Slash release. Oh, how new? Like another flavor of TQ or something different altogether? I don't want to change my links. I'm going to have to get the cheap Amazon AR44 housing. You'd only have to change the uppers. That's not that bad. The wheelbase will stay the same. Oh, that is... Okay. So there is definitely too much bend on this link. Maybe. We'll see. The drive shaft is going to push the link out of the way from the looks of it. Somebody out there honking. Just honking. Smaller TQ. Okay, yeah, there's definitely too much bend on these. Okay, and then with the link spacing, those rear uppers are long. long. What else have we got? Wait, how long are these? What torque are you getting on your lowest clutch setting on the PS21? I do, like, I don't know what any of the numbers are. I do, like, when I'm assembling wheels, like when I'm putting the hubs on, I have it on like 7. I don't know. I've never actually measured it. I will say that it's somewhat inconsistent because the hardware is so cheap. It comes with cheap bead locks. Sometimes a torque setting of 1 will snap a 2mm bead lock screw. Have you worked on the SSD trail truck? Nope, discontinued. They went on clearance, and I was like, I'll pick one of those up. It might be funny to tinker with. And next thing I knew, it was gone. So I missed out on the SSD trail truck. Okay, so I do have some other lower link options because I don't know if I have anything to make an upper long enough for the 350. I mean, we could pull it in 20mm. That's way too long. Yeah, I've either got way too short or way too long. And the other links that came in there, are these close? No. Everything is like 10, 15, 20mm too long. How long did it take Traxxas to switch the current radio? Yeah, it feels like they got about 10 years in between radios. They go every 10 years they'll get on a new radio. I have a couple links that are so long I can't even fit them in the drawers. I have to keep those in a bin. These are the longest ones that'll fit in the drawer at 190 end to end. So like 170s. Damn. How long would I need? I need a ruler. About that long. How does one live in California and still afford buying that many RC tricks a month? This. We'll just do this. That's 180. 180 eye to eye at like the shortest link position. Wait. Make sure it's centered. Yeah, it's 185. 185 eye to eye is crazy. Okay, if we go with longs, can we get there? I've got a handful of Traxxas long ones left. That'll clear. 185. That doesn't look that long. Traxxas motto, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And to Traxxas, nothing is broke. So I only need like a 130. That's shoulder to shoulder, mind you. I might be able to find a 130. Okay, I've definitely got it in straight. Now I know why those other links are bent. Is that frame rail G10 fiberglass? No, these are carbon. They're just colored carbon. So I've got 130 straight. That's 115. That's 130. Okay. We're going to do this via judicious application of rod ends. I was thinking about building my own high clearance chassis with a Stealth X and SE1200 Mia straights, but also the V2 Gold Rush looks interesting. The V2 Gold Rush, here's the thing about the Gold Rush. I put it in the same place that I put the Enjoras, which is, it's a perfectly competent generic chassis. It doesn't go too aggressive on the skid. It doesn't, it's not trying to break new ground. If we, yeah. Do I have 4 of those? One of the Traxxas rod ends has got like massive rod ends on it. Like, and by that I mean, like, there's a regular one. So you got a typical, and I've tried, right? You've either got Revo, Jado, whatever that long one is. It's Jado, right? But then they have the one that's like got the bigger, like how much material is outside the hollow ball. They've got these big fat ones that have the little rib at the bottom. I bought them by accident, and they don't fit in all of the places. But if you can get them to fit, you don't really worry much about breaking them. Let's see where this came out. $185 dead. If you've got servo on axle or servo behind axle, it definitely trims down the Link Olympics. The Link Olympics just gets shorter. Anytime there's no panhard involved. Like, we were doing that. You know what? I think I just might have learned something accidentally. I just put these rod ends on with my silencer with the torque set to 1. And it stopped perfectly at the bottom. There we go. And I think if we do these with the bend at the front, I never trust. What are we building? We're building Punks Anarchist number 2. Only this one is going to be, apparently, as it's shaping out, radically different. Punks Anarchist number 1. This number 1 is just a class 2 guy. Is that threaded? It is. Awesome. I get to bowl with some pro PBA bowlers tonight at a tournament at our center here in Louisiana. Hey. I would do terribly because I'm not very good at bowling. I'm comfortable with where I am at bowling. But like, I'm not good at it. I'm consistent. I think I've been anchor man on every team I've ever bowled on because of just a stunning level of consistency. I'm not that guy that's going to break out. I'm also not that guy that's going to roll 20 pins under his average. I'm going to give you something between 170 and 200 pretty much every game. I averaged 177 for like 25 years. Hadn't bowled in 2 or 3 years. was in Laughlin, and my first game was a 177 with a house ball. If nothing else, I am disturbingly consistent. Okay. I was flailing around something amazing. I had lost the links. And they're so small. Okay, I don't think that's a 7.5. 7.53. It hurt me. It was like he's starting to get uppity. He's starting to talk like he knows what's going on. Somebody get out there and stop him. It's untoward. That's what it is. Can get away with that on plastic. Can't get away with it on alloy. I'm willing to get a bowling while mildly drunk, but stopped drinking about 18 months ago. Oh. No, these are full Capra. You go to pick up a house ball and it looks like it was drilled for Fred Flintstone. Either the holes are so small I can't put my pinky in the ball, or they're so big I could be wearing a snow glove. And I'm like, whose hand does this fit? Guy I used to bowl league with would call me Fred Flintstone because I take like a 11-step approach to get up to the line to try to slow my ball speed down, slow my arm swing down. It's not successful. I have a lot of pendulum action, and I have over time tried to slow my ball speed down, and now I've basically just given up on it. You know, like my arm it just keeps going. I'm built like a freak. I think because of the fetal alcohol syndrome. That's what I'm blaming it on anyway. I think I was supposed to be like 6'5", but a little of this and a little bit of this, and I'm not tall enough, but I have really big hands and I have really big feet and I have really long arm bones and leg bones. I have really weird bodily proportions. I think and also as a youth I had to have the like Forrest Gump thing. Where it was like two bars that like attach your legs together because my toes pointed in like that. So they like formula. So my whatever that bone is, tibia, fibia, whatever the bone is, whatever your shin bone is, my shin bone's got a nice curve to him. I think I definitely lost some height. My mother, she robbed me out of some height. Could have been taller. Could have been a baller. Instead, every day, the guy in the mirror looks a little more like my father, and that's not great. What are you gonna do ultimately? If that's the question, the answer is, what are you gonna do? So I'm Gumby? Yeah. That's basically, that's me right there. Well, I believe what we are succeeding in making is an absolute contraption. This is the way I like it. You know, I'd be lying if I tried to say otherwise. If it just slaps together, what's the fun in that? Are there people that bowl with balls with no holes? Yeah. No, there are. I think anybody who's ever bowled in a league has bowled with at least one guy that had the just palm it and do that like chicken wing backswing, and then they throw the like biggest. They go. They throw the biggest hook you've ever seen. What I call the feast or famine hook, where there's every bit of odds that guy's going to put it right in the gutter as it is going to hit it in the middle. And I just hit it in the middle. I learned that from my grandfather. His greatest piece of bowling advice was just hit it in the middle. So I just try to hit it in the middle. All the men in my family are roughly 6 foot, but my mom's side, no one is over 5'2". Dang. Stuck in the middle. Yeah, like I've said, before the bike fit, I thought, oh, maybe my torso is long. Maybe my legs are short. Maybe my legs are long. No. I'm just all weird. All the proportions are wrong. That's what she said. Just hit it in the middle. Just hit it in the middle. I also remember No Drive, No 5. That's the other one. So my ball speed, for those who don't know anything about, here's another ball sport we're talking about. For those who don't know bowling, there is, in theory, an optimum ball speed. And I throw too fast. Like 4 miles an hour too fast. Like I average like 20.8, 21 miles an hour. It's too fast. I spray pins. And I had a guy in a league tell me, he was like, "You don't know how to slow down, do you?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "I've watched you hit it, and it just turns into a tornado, and then there's just a magical 6-pin standing there." And then he goes, "I swear I've seen other times where you roll the ball and a couple pins fall down before your ball gets there just out of fear." I was the deadwood king. Deadwood is when you knock a ball back up the gutter, and a pin slides back up the gutter. And I would knock deadwoods. I've knocked 3 deadwoods in one shot, 2 in one gutter and 1 in the other. It is bragging because when you get to the point where the guy who comes to clear the deadwoods just goes, "You again." I'm like, yeah. Slow down if I could. But all I know how to do is grip it and rip it. Just grip it and rip it. Did your wife watch any of the last Wheeling Wednesday? No, that's how I can get away with those kinds of edits. She would smack me about the head and face if she saw that. But I don't have any worries because she doesn't watch the videos at all. Oh. God, it looks ridiculous. I love it. Now, these obviously need to be rebuilt. I think these are set up for conventional, so right side up. It doesn't look like 350. It doesn't look like 350, but I guess it is. Anyway. Very consistent. I got that going for me. No, I think I randomly, yeah. We're gonna go. I don't have to worry about rebuilding these. You know what? As a matter of fact, we'll pop a color. I've got already built for Droop 110. Those greens they look so good though, right? But that is like perfect. And these are already built. What else do I have? I know I've got, I've also got, oh yeah. I've got high trails, full set of high trails. And then I also have Wolverine's old set, and these are built as well. These are huge long. These are like 120s. This thing would be drooping. That's for later. Yeah, 15 mile an hour. I wish. BRB, Niagara Falls nosebleed. Now, see, I don't know if that means that he has a nosebleed of, like, there's a lot, or if he's in Niagara Falls and he has a nosebleed. Because he could be talking about a full anime nosebleed. Mrs. broke her fib one leg and her kneecap on the other falling downstairs. Ugh! Yeesh! Sounds like she definitely didn't put a hand down. What a... Why is this being... Why are you being this way? Yeah, so desert lizards actually being hundreds isn't really helping here. I don't know if I've ever been this far forward on the shock mounting points. It looks like it's going to roll. It looks like it's going to roll. I don't want to order more shocks. I have so many unused shocks. Honestly, those high trails, GTS high trails are probably perfect. Okay, what do you got? Small in the back, big in the front. I realize there's absolutely no bracing. There's nothing holding this chassis together. These, I think, are half, I would call these quarter droop. Because I think they're set up to be run the other way. To be run right side up. So they're double spring. But if they were half droop, I would think they'd be down there like that. Let's see, they're definitely pushing up. I might have to go stainless hardware on this just for the look of it. Oh, you can't find it, grind it. And at 185, I feel like that pumpkin could be kicked a little bit more. That's not terrible. It looks ridiculous. Like, that's some good... We're definitely working on some breakover here. Yeah, there's definitely a spring, a big spring between the piston and the body, because we can't collapse all the way, but we've got a lot of droop. Yeah, we've got a lot of droop. It actually, in this configuration, I don't think this would drive badly. And I guess 350 is where we're sitting on the wheelbase. Big 350. Which means 475s are probably out of the question. Even with, I don't know. Are they? If nothing else, I'm just amazed at how good the driveline angle is. And there's still a giant void in there. And somehow those rear links aren't banging into each other. Now, I have taken no notes, no ideas on how we're going to get a body on this thing. I hadn't even actually thought about it until just right now. How are we going to get a body on this thing? That's upside down and I don't care. What's the longest? Is this even long enough? Jeez. I don't know. know. I don't know if I even have enough to cobble together a drive shaft long enough for this rear. That is, again, about 185. I feel like out of pieces, we're not going to be able to get near close enough. I do have a bunch of, let's see. Some Vankies on here would look super classy. Not even close. Those are the two longest sliders. Does anyone know if they make 6.5-inch wide axles? Boom Racing BRX 70s would be about as close as you could get, I think. Miata Commuter would be the one to answer this. I don't have an, oh! I was like, I don't even have a cut to length. Yeah, because it's not dynamic. It does not change lengths very much at all. I should have ends, too. Digging, digging. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. I don't have a I don't have a D. He's looking for a 6.5-inch wide axle. And I said BRX 70. I don't know if there's another or better option than that. We got the oil slick ends with the black in the middle. Can you recall off the top of your head what the front ground clearance is on your ZRD mullet? I could have guessed. Pumpkin is at about 38. I would say 38. And then if we're sitting level, front of the skid is 57. Tail of the skid is 65. And rear pumpkin is about 54. There you go. I think the smartest thing is probably going to be shorten it. Like, I would have no issues if we shortened this, 15, 20 millimeters in the rear. Because, I mean, we also wouldn't have to worry about a drive shaft that's far too long. All right. Now, I can just order a drive shaft to fit this length. That's why we try not to make too many huge decisions while we're at this point of it. You never know when you're going to slap something together and this is going to need shims. This is going to need shims all the way. Nobody got time for all of this. The mullet just had deep 105s on it. Oh, yeah, but they are basically the exact same color as these. That is true. I do have a lot of wheels in silver, though. I think this combo will look good with most any wheel, honestly. It is coming out. Maybe not. Isn't 80 millimeters shorter than 6 inches? Yes. Okay. That. Nope. Easier to do it this way. Easier to do it the way opposite of the way we're going to mount it. I've neglected to obtain my silver Sharpie. Come on. Come on. Whew, that clearance is not a lot. Why must you vex me so? Why must you treat me this way? We're going to go way long because I'm not confident in it. As one does. I forecast this being as much as 10 millimeters too long. But you know what? That's fine, isn't it? I had to sit in a dang courthouse until about 30 minutes ago. You having fun? Are you having fun in the courthouse? Does anybody have fun in the courthouse? I do a little shimmy, stand kind of sideways so that the spray of sparks just goes straight behind me into, whatever. I'm not back there. Ugh, I don't like the smell of these. Whatever that coating is, it's probably killing me. Because while I've still not done it yet, I have the constant fear that one day I'm going to clip one of these and be like, oh, that's way long. And then I'm going to go to fit it and it's going to be like just long enough. It hasn't happened yet. That doesn't mean it's not going to. So this should be long enough to where I can't fit it. But it ain't no 10 millimeters too long. It is. It's like well, I'm going to go ahead and assume that these little marks are millimeters. I'm going to say that this is about 2 millimeters too long. And when I cut, like I said, when I cut it, I was like, oh, we got 10 milli here. I mean, if you're not regrinding the end 3 times, you cut it too short the first time. That's how I look at it. We're gonna make this dang thing move. We're gonna make it move. I don't know who this drive shaft was on before. I think Wolverine. It had definitely had some days drooping past where it wanted to. That's, I wouldn't say that's in perfect condition. Doesn't have like excess play in it or anything, so it's probably fine. Okay, this should be the maximum usable length. Okay, now for some reason, there's no set screw in this, is there? No. For some reason, this won't go on far enough to get to a pin. It just stops right there. Do we have a ledge or a lip or a burr? I don't see anything. Something else. It heard me, didn't it? I was like, we're actually going to get this thing put together. And it heard me. It's got like a burr or something in it. How much did you spend on this build? Oh, yeah, it just had a little burr in it. I would say... You mean like, what did I have to buy? I bought the chassis and the axles. So like, $300? Everything else is already here. How much would it be if you had to buy everything? We try not to think about that, don't we? Because kind of a lot. Realistically, as outfitted right now, this is probably, without wheels and tires, this is leaning more towards the $650. This is like $800 all in on this one, probably. I find myself doing this. Seems to be a repeating pattern. The wife's classic build cost more than mine. Did he get it perfect, or is he still a little bit too long? Just a hair too long. I mean, again, maybe a millimeter. No, the Anarchist chassis is like $115. It's not bad at all. The axles cost well more than the chassis did. I'll be the first to admit it. I need to change that sanding disc. I need to change that sanding disc real bad. I'm like, and it's just getting hot. It's not like taking material off. It's just melting the coating off. That's on me. And then even though I know I'm going to probably have to remove it again, I still keep making sure it's timed correctly. Yeah, that is not dynamic. That drive shaft is changing length by about 2 millimeters. You know that sander is right in line with your microphone? Well, I think what it is, we can show it over here. See that slot right there? The sander is straight over there. I think the sound is coming through, kind of through that hole, because it's way over there. It just, I think it has a clear audio line directly from the sander to your ear holes. Yeah, it's definitely going to need shims on both ends. But I believe I have constructed a captive drive shaft. The drive shaft is like, there's way too much bend on those lower links. We can put a straighter lower link under there, or carrier bearing. Carrier bearing, definitely not out of the question. Nothing here. I'll go ahead and say it. This isn't something that we often say, but I will say this. There is nothing final on this. Nothing. I can and would or will change every component other than, no, okay. Axles and chassis are final. Everything else is potential for change. I mean, wheelbase, everything. That's a bit better. It's a bit better. Yeah, IKEA. It extends way up outside the camera range. Oh. Whoop. Whoop. I like the delay. What am I doing? Oh yeah, we need something back here. Probably right here. This is flimming and flamming around back here. You know, it's one of those things. It could surprise me. All right, then. I'm going to have to get all of this tucked away so it doesn't get torn asunder by spinny bits. Oh, let's go ahead and grab model 6 ID seed on all the way out. I don't think we have any other ones on 10. Name. We don't have enough room for spearmint because we've only got what, 7 characters? So we can do S, and then we'll put that, and then we'll go mint. So we're going to name it Smint. Okay. Then we're going to need a receiver. Aha. I was like, come on. I got to have one R6 that I've shoved the antenna inside of. And I did. We're going to need a Batarazis. And I think I've got an 850 that's got a bit. It's got some pixies in it. 71% is plenty. That's probably what this thing's going to run on as well. On an 850. We'll swing this over here. Plug this in her. We'll think all the way ahead and do the most important part, which is disconnecting the servo horn before you power it up, because I have no idea what direction that servo is facing. And we'd find out in the most, the only way to find out is in the most expensive way. Another 2-channel rig on the 6-channel receiver. That's how we do. Beep-doop. But it's not going to beep-doop. We've got to do this. From my knowledge of hex speed, seems about right. Now, for a zero due diligence operation, and trust me when I say this, we've done none. Okay, you ready? Okay, so we go on, switch, lock A, position up, 0, channel master, channel 3, slave throttle, and you go to -100. Unfortunately, there's no faster way to go to -100. We'll go back to this, put that to 0. So, when I speak of zero due diligence, I mean it. There is whatever grease came in these. This is bone ass dry because I didn't know if a 14-tooth pinion was a good choice. So I'm like, I am not going to grease this thing up when we're just going to have to pull it apart again. That is a Holmes team spec, 540 SS team spec. So it's a 2250, 2300, 2350, something like that. Escape 3270 amp, and in the bin I had an RS100 V2, which I knew I could fit a full height, because what I was thinking is, if it wasn't enough gear reduction and it felt like we could use a little more zazz in it, we could throw a 4S in it. I don't think it's going to need a 4S. We have identical radios. Like identical. Except mine, I think, has the black knob and hers has a purple one. That's the only difference between our radios. Because when I'm doing content like working on Sheila, I just move all of my camera apparatus over onto her radio. As a matter of fact, Baseline, which has now just been renamed Test Fleet, it has the apparatus as well. Picatinny's and cold shoes are cheap. The body is going to be this guy right here. More green. As far at this juncture, I have entirely too many options. But the initial plan was that guy. Dang. But dang if that doesn't just about line up. So what I do is I just cut these down. These are some of my new favorites, these gigantic servo horns that are probably for airplanes. Ew. That screw was gross. Don't need that. Have you considered painting your radios? You know what I have? Because there are definitely enough of them here now that I often mistake one for another. Like a lot. I believe this is the hardware. it goes to the horn. That bag has crossed me for the final time. It needs a Porsche body. All right, try that again. Took the day off to be part of your live stream. Got a piece of metal in my eye right before it started. Just got back from having it extracted. Ugh. I've been there. I've definitely gotten metal in my eye before. Aluminum. I got a flake of aluminum in my eye, and I thought I got it out. And then like 2 days later, I was like, ah, man. And I rubbed my eye, and a giant glop of like yellow goop with a chunk of aluminum in it fell out of my eye. Isn't the human body amazing? It really is. It really is. I guess I had just, because you know, I'm not telling y'all things you don't already know. The colored part is the only part that feels anything. The white part of your eye doesn't feel anything. So if you shove that debris down underneath your eyeball, so it doesn't touch the colored part, it just doesn't hurt anymore. It's fun. It's definitely smooth. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and turn the EPA way down. When I worked at the aluminum foundry, there was a constant stream of us going to the hospital, having aluminum flushed out of our eyes. PPE, man. PPE. Wait. I didn't go too far. Holy cow. Okay, so this hole on this horn is at about 28 millimeters. So it's not that far out from just a normal horn. We could probably actually get away with a normal horn because I don't know, for whatever reason, it does need to be reversed. Wow, that is centered. When it doesn't go when you hit reverse, you know you're living in the right place. Yeah, safety squints. That's where we are. Yeah. That was with PPE. Stone chips. So I've got the endpoints right now at 30%. So it's 32% one way and 35% the other. The only thing I have currently mounted that seems remotely size appropriate. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do with the wires. Literally. I will run this under there, and then I'm just going to zip tie those wires to that tube. Pew. Where is his? Oh, he's running the tiny little caseless guy and just has it crammed. This is unwise while the vehicle is energized. I think I'm going to go right on the end. I think I'm going to go right there. Just inboard it. Okay, the only thing I have mounted, I've got a set of boggers, a set of Genius. Oh. I've got her old Ibex. Ooh. Let's see what this looks like. Because Ibex is like 5'4". 5'4" might be the biz. Man, these are really squishy. Because I get the feeling the weight of this is not going to come. I had my eyes set on. I mean, it's not happening, right? This has rapidly become. Oh, okay. 2 of these are Predator and 2 of these are G8s. We got to figure out what's what. Okay, that's a G8. Still got an orange dot on it. And that's got a G8 on it. Okay. Oh, you can feel the difference. All right. Yeah. I mean, there is the what, US versus Australia and the rest of the World Cup. When somebody mentioned on the Discord, they were like, there might be less people there because of the soccer, and I was like, oh no, I'll lose like 3 people, and then I was like, actually, now that I think about it, I do have a lot of viewers from other places, so I think there might be something to it. I also think those are pretty. Are those just 9s? I mean, what's the difference? I was going to put. Oh, the U.S. already won? Hey, good for us. Oh, woohoo. There's national pride for you. Could care less about soccer, but. Oh, we won? Woo! Boy. These are not some assembly required at all. These are all assembly required. I hate football and all the tribalism it stokes. Any tips on scale hardware on true bead locks? Everything I use keeps slipping. I am not confident they're getting tight enough. Yeah, a shorter horn gives more power, but I don't need... thank goodness we're limiting her to 3S. This is like... That's immovable. The wife does not need that much torque. This on 3S will still be too much. What's the temp there? It's 80 and raining in Reading. It's like 75 outside. It might have gotten up to about 80 now, but it's definitely not raining. Are you looking forward to the 2.2 by 575 JCon Boss? I think we might know what'll go on this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. Well, okay. Am I wasting my time? Here's how we can check. Because I believe, that's pretty much the same size, right? Oh, on the scale hardware. So if I go into my scale hardware bin right here, find a place to set it down. Over where the tools are, right? Where all the tools that slip. I'm assuming you're talking about the little tiny ones. I don't even know if we'll get it to focus. The little tiny scale hardwares like those, like the 2mm. If you're doing with the 2.5s, that works as well. This is my preferred driver. It's a screw. Because they're the same size. So what you do is just use beadlock hardware. Use regular beadlock hardware to drive scale hardware. And if you feel like it's starting to slip, throw it away, get another screw. That's what I do. As soon as it starts to slip, I throw it away. You can either go ham or pin vise. use a pin vise and lock the screw or the driver into it. That's how I do it. What did he say? I've been enjoying all the foreign people videos where they're posting trying USA foods. It's my favorite thing of the whole week by a lot. It's my absolute favorite thing, is watching British people go to the Buc-ee's for the first time. Or I saw an Australian lady go to a super Walmart in Texas, and it quite literally blew her mind. It was fantastic. Okay, I don't know if we're going to give her this kind of width. This kind of width seems irresponsible. This is purely for scale. How come it's always the fiddly little stainless that vanish before hitting the ground? How do they do that? They never even hit the ground. They fall into like a slip space scenario where they never actually touch the ground. That's what I think. Okay, now, all right, it looks huge now. So that would be the same height. I don't think those look weird. I do think it is quite wide. Now, on the carbon wheels, oh my goodness. There's big hubs on these boggers. What size hubs are on these? Oh, yeah. 18s at least. Look at that. And he's kissed some knuckle. Okay, the width on this borders on the obscene. You want to talk about stable. Okay. We might have some excess clearances. Yeah, these are 135s. So on a 135, we've got almost 90 millimeters at the front of the skid. The drive shaft is at like 110. And with a carrier bearing, there'd be nothing below almost 120. Clearance at the pumpkin, still about 60, 62 millimeters in the rear. That's, oh, we got short travel, but it's probably long droop. Yeah, it's mostly drooping. This is ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know what I set out to make, but I don't feel like I envisioned this. As configured, yeah, this is a full 300 wide. This is a foot wide. This is not recommended. Surprisingly quiet. It's surprisingly quiet. This. Not on those hubs. Not on those hubs. That may be, I mean, it's just a little bit wider. It's barely wider at all. It's just a little bit longer. Actually, it's not incredibly longer. Huh. I'm genuinely thinking shorten the rear end up by about 20 millimeters, take it down to like a 330. And on a 330, I think it would be perfect on either a 475 or like the 5-inch razor wire. Something like that. I think we can get away with it. think we've gone. I think 350 might be too much. I didn't even think to pre-assemble these. Never even occurred to me. These should make a nice light combo. Although, with no front weights, because I got a weird set of axles, I mean, easily correctable. Big capper weights are not expensive. We can correct that. I might have some flatter ones. I don't think this is going to need a lot of weight. I think the bias is going to be pretty well forward. That's really tall. It's really tall. I feel like in this configuration, it should be able to get over anything. I wouldn't mind at all getting these ibex back onto something. Her Capra is just better on geologic infections. This seems appropriate, though. Let me guess. The thickness of the foam is going to make it especially difficult to mount these. As long as we don't squidge any beads. This might be all right. This might be okay. I think the key overall is don't think about the number of screws. As long as I don't focus on the fact that it's 18 screws per. I mean, it's not the same as putting in beadlock rings. I love that there's a whole airplane thing going on. I am serious. Do not call me Shirley. Okay, we got no bead pops. Let's get this guy down to about a 7. Got fed up waiting for 1.7, so rammed a set of 1.9s into my 1.7s. Hey, yeah, stretching. Well, when you think about it, it's 0.2 of an inch. Split down the middle. Like 2.5 millimeters. It's not. That's a Predator that goes on the front. Predator to the front. Yeah, 1.7. They tried, didn't they? They tried. I feel like it just didn't really. Wait. Yeah. Yeah. They use big old guys. I don't like them. They use socket caps. They give you socket caps in the middle. And I don't want to. So I'll source my own. Pins are the ugliest tires. There's definitely at least one person here that will agree with you. Pins forego all other things in the name of performance. You can at least. See, they know. They knew and they know. They knew. They know. Okay, this is going to draw the... This is going to draw it in a lot. Yeah. Got the stud poking out. Look at that. Portal box just went away. See, that's pretty correct. That'll take us down to still Capra nonsense, so it's going to be wide. But it's not going to be nearly as bad as running 18mm hubs and Capra axles. Hey, what's up, Mr. Vegas Steve? We're just throwing pieces together here. Yeah, I only threw a bogger on it because I wanted to see vertically the height of the tire. So we're making a not a sporty again. We're making yet another not quite a sporty. And if we're dealing with this size tire, Mias Capra's special edition. We've got the special edition here. You can't buy them yourself. You can only get them end of shift from the Mias factory because the pumpkin's not supposed to be right there. We've gone, I don't know. Would this be British? Well, because we've got I guess this would be the rare American one. Because the guy doing the steering's on the left-hand side. Most of them, the guy doing the steering's on the right-hand side. These aren't bad, honestly. This is somewhat therapeutic. It definitely beats tiny beadlock screws, for sure. Yeah, the pumpkin's on the Ford side. Some of the Toyotas, too. I want to say, like, old FJs had them on that side, too. Yeah. Somebody was like, well, it's good enough. I want to say, I can say with some confidence, this will be the only vehicle here that has the pumpkin, the drive axle, the front axle pumpkin on the right-hand side. So it gets to be special. And that's one of those special ones that, like, you really got to be our kind of nerd to notice that. No one is going to notice that. So we had to go motor to the rear. These might be the easiest type of wheels to mount. What they can and will do, though, is you can absolutely mush a bead. These will absolutely mush a bead. So when you go to mount it on a quote-unquote conventional beadlock, the tire is like, I don't even remember what that life is like. You smashed me into these things. This is how I live now. I can't do it. I know there are plenty of people out there that run like half the number of screws in the hub which is probably enough. The Spider front axle has the pumpkin on that side. I didn't even remember that. That makes me want to go look at the GOM, because the GOM might have it on that side too. Because the Spider lives with Mr. Hurley, so he would know. $18 millis on there. Ridiculous. Yes. Yes. Now it looks ridiculously narrow. Yeah, definitely not going to a 9. I'm so glad I didn't put 6mm hubs. That's 260. But look at the width in the back. Looks like an Indy car. Oh, I need to know. Is the GOM the other way? Nope. GOM is pumpkin on the left. So this is the only one. What was I doing? Right. Just building wheels. Definitely takes less time than a full ring of beadlock screws. The Spider does have it in the right side. There you go. That's a very that's a very G-made thing. Not being consistent. Putting you'd think, yeah, I mean, most manufacturers would put them on the same side on all of them. I know the HPI, I know the old one had it on the other side. The original Venture. I don't remember if the new Venture does. Is the front axle turning in the right direction? Rear axles have the diff reversed. Amazingly, it appears to be. You make me doubt. I'm brimming with doubt. If I had tried a little harder, I could have plugged that in backwards. Like, what are the odds? What? Get out of here. A damn Stream Deck update just popped up right in the middle of my preview screen. Get out of here. That battery is just going to fit right there. It depends on which side of the control screen the machine operator was looking at when he tapped go. Yeah. The Spider does have drive shafts that spin in opposite directions. Them rims and tires don't do it for me because they don't look scale. No, they don't look scale at all. No. But they are disarmingly light. You would be hard pressed to find something lighter if light is your goal. I do like the look of those. Deluxe have got some super light wheels. I don't know what they call them. I like the look of them. I don't think I'd pay the Deluxe money for them, but I like the look of them. We're allowed to like things and not buy the things that we like, because we can buy other things. You had me until the pins. Like I say, nothing here is permanent. The only thing in front of you now that was bought for this live stream were the axles and those 4 links, which are for a Gladiator. Which kind of explains why we're at 350. Because a Gladiator is like 353, so we're just Gladiator wheelbase. I'd rather a rig climb rocks great than to look good. There you go. There you go. He's living it. I don't think this thing's going to be ugly. I don't think the other Punks is ugly. I think it drives great. I think it looks pretty good. I like the gold. I like the green. I like the carbon wheels. I mean, they don't look scale, but that's fine. A lot of this stuff doesn't look scale. Plus, I can't put 105s and 8 holes on everything. That's what I want. You know what this would get? 525 FYRs. That's what I need. Get me some 525 FYRs. Straight on. So there's every chance that we're going to go 20 millimeters shorter on the wheelbase. Although I might take this thing out and run it and be like, how come it's so good at 350? This will technically be a member of the trail fleet. Technically. I mean, it will only get to go to a couple different locations. We're not driving these across vast expanses. Though, when this thing goes out for its first and hopefully second time, it's going to have no torque split. And I really like the other guy. I like the that guy. I like this guy. I like the gold guy at 18. But these are Capra portals. So I can't think of another place where you have more options for changing torque splits. Portal gears. I could just go 1421s. Just go to 1421s. $20 and this guy's done. And I can do it without taking the whole axles apart. I'm on board for that. I'm building these faster than I thought I would. It may seem interminable to some, but I'm honestly amazed at how this is going. Not only are these pins, for those who hate pins, this is the performance configuration on the pins. Predator fronts and G8 rears. Because if you try to run the Predators in the rear, they just fold over. They like fold over under their own weight. Do those Capra axles use the same brass and gears as regular Capra axles? Yes, they do, 100%. They absolutely do. You can use all your Capra stuff on these. And when you buy them and you don't get the ones that were made at the end of the shift, they have knuckle weights on them already. So you don't have to add knuckle weights later. I would never have noticed unless it had been pointed out. I wouldn't even noticed that they didn't have weights on them. It wouldn't have clicked in on me for a couple days. Because Mias are one of the only places that give you knuckle weights when you buy the axles. Everybody else just assumes you're going to buy them afterward. I might have one set of weights left. I know I just put my big ones on the Injora. Yeah, and if you get them, the pumpkin's going to be on the other side. I don't think there's a performance advantage to the left-hand pumpkin, but hey, we don't know. I honestly, I don't mind the 70 millimeter front end. I think we're far enough forward that we could get away with taking some away from the rear, because that rear, what is that rear? 180 on the lower and 185 on the upper. Is it just me, or do axial portals seem narrow? Non-capra, obviously. Bought some red spider portals for my optic build. Need to find some brass. Well, I mean, if you're talking about AR-45s, yeah, AR-45s are not wide. The 10 Pro portals are wider than the AR-45Ps, but not something that I would actively recommend ever since they jumped them up to like $200, which is absolutely bonkers. So, love it or hate it, this is a dual stage in here. G8 Ibex on the wheel, 150 even. The whole wheel with hub. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and then I need 6 more because I got to put the back on. 1, 2, 3. The wheels are an ounce. They're 29 grams each. So that's why the combos on this guy are super light. I think I want to say he's 540 for the full set. So 135 a corner. So based on that, 150 a corner ain't bad, considering how much bigger these are. Another bogger goes. Yeah, I mean, this is just, it's going to sit higher. That's just how it is. It's portal versus straights. Yeah, I think even at this tire size, I think pulling it in about 20 millimeters is going to be the go. There we go. There's how you know you've got your. We might not have enough droop and compression available out of these 90s. I'm just saying, because if we get the levitation, might not be quite close enough to the ground. F10Ps might be 5 millimeters wider than an AR-45P. Look at this monstrosity indeed. Mistakes were made. What do? You roll with it. We decide if we make changes later. This is what hit the bench. This is what's going to hit the rocks. I don't know when. I'm going to fit the body. Use Tuxedo Dan's OEM shocks. They already got stolen. They're also hundreds. And I think we're going to need 110s for this. Why does it look like the Starship Enterprise behind the shelf? I think it looks more like the Matrix. Because we're all in the Matrix, Mr. Hurley. Whatever pill we thought we were going to take, we took the other one. I'm still waiting on Betty to get here. We're supposed to see Sunday, Tuesday, so probably tomorrow. Could still show up tonight. I can look right now. Oh, I found a magical button, by the way. It just says fill. Shift function F. Just makes the window fill. So when I drag a window from one monitor to the other, they're all different displays. That one's in 2K. These are in 1080. So when I go from the 2K to the 1080, it gets all confused. You just hit shift function F. I don't want to do that. There's all sorts of software updates that keep popping up. Like while I'm doing something. Can you put clear green film over the new Lightspeed More Matrix? Yes, I can. I need to get me some green acetate so we can go full matrix. I'm curious because it said delivery scheduled to that one dude and to the, the guy. It said Saturday. Processing your request. Yeah, still arrived at USPS. Oh, it's doing that. Oh, yeah, it's going to be Saturday. Today's a holiday. Yeah, definitely Saturday. How are the D1 RC Ori shocks now doing that you've had them for a while? They're you know what? They're fine. They're fine. If they came in more lengths, I would appreciate that. I think I feel that way about a lot of shocks. They are on Monster Manus. They'd actually kind of be great for this because they're like the lengths. They're like the lengths of 90, but the travel of 100. I think I can be forgiven for continually forgetting that today is a holiday, because when did they make this a holiday? Has it been like 3 or 4 years? I feel like it has not been. I feel like it hasn't been that long. This one is very snug. So, and this is the last one. Didn't feel this snug on the other G8 guy. This guy is snug. No beads popped. I do it every time. I know it doesn't make any difference, but I don't like when the pointies face forward. I like the pointies pointing back. 2019? 4 years? See? That's the thing. Nobody knows. It wasn't a holiday, and then it was. And it seems crazy that the government would be giving out more holidays. You think they'd be taking holidays away. Yeah, coffee soon, Mr. Hurley. I'm looking forward to it. I forgot about Juneteenth was a holiday. Yeah, see? The other guy, the winner guy, he messaged me and asked me, and I gave him a tracking number, and I was like, possibly today, or I said possibly Friday, something along those lines, completely forgetting. What is Juneteenth? It's the final liberation of the last Galveston, Texas, the last slaves in Galveston, Texas, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Also, we don't typically have 2021. We don't typically, like, Friday. Holidays are on Mondays. Friday holiday. You don't see Friday holidays. Definitely looks almost like a sporty. We know that in its spirit, it's so smooth, though. Oh, listen. Clunk, 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 clunk. Now, did I make it so tight we won't be able to undo it? Yes, we did. Well, you know what? That's cleanup we can take care of. I can take care of that. That won't be a problem. anything is not a, it's not a problem. If it's not a problem, it's not a problem. What's a holiday? It's a day, apparently, where in theory, you get paid not to work. They don't seem to occur very often. Because, like, we have days where you don't have to go to work, but they definitely don't want to pay you. Oh, I'm not mad about that. Hello. Oh, hello. We're just all remembering that today's a holiday.
It is a holiday.
We're like, how come we haven't gotten mail?
Because the post office is closed.
And they're like, why isn't my package going to arrive today? And I was like, oh, right.
Oh, a tiny little package came for you, though. It's in the middle of the yard.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's for me. I mean, it could be, but I think it's for one of you.
It's tiny.
Yeah, it's LA Express. It was a guy in a Honda Civic.
I didn't order anything from AliExpress. You see a little mark?
Honestly? No. Wait, maybe.
Rude.
Ouch.
You're being too quiet. You need to talk.
And there's a lot of people in this country that don't work and get paid for it. That is true. If Mr. Hurley doesn't work, he does not get paid. So that's great. So he was at the courthouse today. So apparently somewhere a courthouse is still open. They don't mind. You moving the Luffy's?
I was just touching the other feet.
So we had lower turnout today because of the stupid soccer.
Lower than you said the two that we're gonna.
Yeah, I forgot that there's a lot of international viewers. So maybe they go and they watch stupid, dumb soccer. You know, I don't know. I don't know how people spend their time.
Hey, you like baseball.
Yeah.
They like soccer.
Yeah, well.
Whatever.
You know, different strokes, as they say. As long as they don't talk about it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Who stole my scissors? Did that woman take my scissors? Nope. I found them. She's already disappeared. She appeared and disappeared. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's at home in the house with her. The younger one left. I think the older one might have left too. I think that'll fit. It ain't, you know what? Perfection is unattainable. We just make do with what we got. Oh, she's back.
It says Crawler Canyon, and it feels like tiny car parts, so it's for you.
She's
so
right. It does.
So
It toy feel like toy car parts. And it is Swift X. Customer note. C1L148. No way! I'm so excited. Those weren't supposed to come for another, at least a week. So I ordered from some Amazon seller, and it was, I guess, direct fulfillment. These are, and I'll have to go through these whole things to make sure that they're assembled correctly. These are double carton for AR-45P. So these are going on the purple guy, the double Injora. Because I've been spoiled by steer angle. And now I want all the steer angle all the time. Yeah. Arrived before it was due. I mean, I could have cut down a Capra set, but these were like $11.99 on Amazon. So I was like, I don't need them urgently. There's every chance in the world I won't even drive that guy until those come in. So look at this. We're just bam. We're gonna go. We're gonna need like one. We're gonna need one fat zip tie all the way around everything. Zip it down. And then we're going to need 2 more zip ties. I'm guessing 2. To ensure that the wires coming out of the servo aren't doing, well, that. First rock, and those would be gone. I'm getting a side stitch. Ugh. Oh, I want to lay down on the ground. Why are you stitching up on me? Oh, God, I'm aging. I'm aging right outside your plane of vision. Look, you can't see me here. You can't see me here. I'm over here. We can only see 3 monitors deep. Hold on. I got an idea. Oh no, I've got wires tangled together. Oh, it's got big glare on it. Now wait, hold on. There it goes. We haven't been here in a while. Wait, I want to see it again. Ooh. Ready? Go. I hit. That's good stuff. Do you have a link for those? Link for what? Wait, are you talking to me? I might. I don't know what it is, but I could. Oh, yeah, here we go. Look at this. Now I don't have to hold it with my hands. Whoa. Man. I try to translate this. Oh, yes, I probably do. I try to instill this in both of my children, which is being easily amused is not a bad thing. Be easily amused, and you'll very seldom be bored. When did I buy these? I feel like it was Junzugzugahub. Oh, haha. Would you like to see? Nope. Right. Yeah. Amazon. Currently unavailable. One more of these. That's good stuff. Oh, now I remember what it was. If I bring up the live stream on a tab and then I play back that tab, yeah, that was how it goes into the reel. That's how you go into the reel. Who knows what Mr. and Mrs. is short for without looking? Is this a trick? I feel like I'm being tricked because I'm pretty sure it's Mr. and Mrs. I know there's some other origin story for Ms. for MS. Don't remember what it is. I had an idea. I had a thought. Loop this lower, then tuck your wires, slide this up, get past the shock, cinch that down. I think that works a little better than how I was doing it. I have a potentially, I don't think it's completely misplaced, but I do have a sense of accomplishment that is somewhat higher than the usual. What the hell was that? Sounded like a fairly large chunk of one of the trees fell off and bounced off the building on the way down. Because it was definitely a nice clunk. I'm doing the thing. This is a patented maneuver, which is I can't find something, put as many things away as possible until the thing makes itself known. What am I missing? The cutters. The cutters. I need the cutters. There it was again. Oh, the summer. You know, summer is approaching. And there's a guy that's got a Bel Air. And I guess he winterizes it. And then after winter is over, he brings it out again. And he likes to fire it up as loudly as possible. But he does it in like the middle of the afternoon. Mr. is the abbreviation for master, and Mrs. is for mistress, which used to be a respectful term for the woman of the house or the wife. Try as you may, try as you might. You may end up learning something new every day. I try to avoid it whenever possible. There's not very much room left in there. Definitely. Hey, I guess they give you one extra, or we have a wheel, basically missing one. I don't think we're missing one. Yes, I did see the deluxe axle shaft for Wizard Portals. Doesn't apply to me. I have a straight axle Wizard and 2 mullets. I didn't really care for it. Full portal. So there you go. You know what? That's pretty clean. That's pretty clean. It doesn't have a body. It will. I'll come home after coffee drink time and I'll feel like I'm not doing enough. And I'll probably come out here and fit a body to this. Or fit the body to this. Because it needs to be trimmed. Yeah, right like that. Trim it down. Warlord. There's more stuff banging off the building again. I have more useless. That set of links for the Gladiator came with some. Yeah, they're not super short. I think they're the same lengths as what's on here. A little long. That's about an 80. I guess that's not crazy. That's not excessive. 4 millimeters short. not nearly the Link Olympics that one would have anticipated, mostly because I just said, it is what it is, run it. Oh, speaking of those deluxe, they say don't run that bearing. They say, remove the bearing that's right in there inside. I think I run that bearing on almost everything. They say removing the bearing will reduce, they call it crow hop, which I guess is somewhat accurate. That's not what I think of when I think crow hop, though. It's right, but it also feels wrong, right? Because, that is allowing the shaft to basically flex. So that's given to get, isn't it? You're giving to get. All right. For something that got thrown together in 3 hours, is it just me? Is it just me? Wait, let's go cruise. I don't know if it's excess amount of lash. I don't know what we're looking at, but to me, it looks like the rear axle is changing speed. Like when I steer hard into the wood over there, the rear looks like it slows down to like a stop. See what I'm saying? Is that an optical illusion? I think if this thing was just spinning normal speed. Yeah, the weight's a little forward. The weight's definitely a little forward. No, those 4-inch block. Nope. I took the pin out. It's right here. Do you remember that scene in The Wedding Singer where John Lovitz is behind the curtain and he goes, "He's losing his mind." Yeah, that's me. I am losing my mind. Okay, so if anybody had any curiosities as to whether or not that rear drive shaft was probably a little too long, it's long enough that we were getting drive via just friction. We were getting friction drive. Yeah, the springing, this is definitely sprung for a conventional setup. These shocks are supposed to be bodies on top and shafts on the bottom, and we have them inverted because we shouldn't be holding. This is no flex. Look at that. Solid as a rock. It's also, whatever is in there is grotesquely oversprung. Oh, wait, here we go. Ready? Get over here. Whew. It's crazy. Yeah, this is no flex Friday. Yeah, I got the friction slipper built in. Someone asked about the Starsky. What the Starsky is a good tire won't do it. Just makes like a a scuffing, shuffling sound, right? If you have a particularly bad tire, do I have one near the bench? I don't think that I do. A proper Starsky, this one is very dirty. That's probably why it's not doing it. A proper Starsky will go. We have met scarce few tires that will make a loud noise on the bench and still perform on the rocks. So if they Starsky, they tend to be bad. Anything of good compound is not going to make any kind of noise. It's just going to make a scraping noise. If you hear that, because we call it the Starsky, because in the show, in Starsky and Hutch, for whatever reason, they always ended up in like a parking garage. You're chasing somebody in the parking garage and the tires are all around the corners. It's kind of just a soft indicator for bad performance. How low can we go? Really low. Plus 13. Self-calibration helps. How are we doing? I don't know. Do we need any slower than that? You can really hear that though. Bubbida, 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 bubbida. More clatter from the front axle than the rear. Ooh. Don't put your finger right there. That thing hurts. It bit me a little bit. Here's the deal. Is the wheelbase longer than I would have hoped for? Yes. Does it sit comically high? We knew it was going to sit a bit higher because it's, Portal. Did you check the gears in those? I didn't. So there's a chance that's underdriven. Because I think that was supposed to be a rear axle. The fact that this works at all, but like, let's look at the height of the rails. Yeah, it's insane. That is, okay. At rest, right there, top of the rear shock tower, because that's flat, is 132 millimeters. And on this current suspension, which cannot stand, 167. Like, this guy's skid is higher than the tops of my rails. Portals are going to add, they're adding about half that. Then you have all of this out. And that's all the difference. So, hey, my vitamin B12 just got delivered. We will address some, if not all of these issues. How much breakover do you want? Yes. It can almost, well, actually, I was going to say, we have 2 important things to do. We have 3 important things to do. Spanish Inquisition. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks everybody for being here. Did we have a great time? It came from the Workbench, Volume 80. Let's do it live. Okay, so this is no body, mind you. 2031. This is the body. Takes us to 2140. And then let's just throw this on to simulate any other hardware we need to add to mount the body. Just under 2,200 grams. Will probably be between 2,100 and 2,200 grams when we're done, which for the Americans among us is still under 5 pounds. This Gargantor will be about between 4 3/4, 4.75, 4.85 pounds. Ready to go. Now, we will probably cross that 5 pound barrier and get a hair above 5 pounds because we'll probably end up putting some weights up in the front. If we can get away without it, that'd be great. It does seem to be quite forward biased, but not as ridiculous. The Lizard Wizard is ridiculously forward biased. 6634. I don't think this is in that 6634 range. I think it's honestly going to drive pretty good, though. The suspension setup is currently not great. I think it's going to go, though. Yeah, it is no flex. It can almost get the standing up ruler under it. It just, I'm going to have to do something about the shocks. They were in the bin. I knew the green would work. We're going to go with something else. It needs all new drive shafts. It's probably going to need knuckle weights. It needs a great many things. And I'm going to do as much as I can in the 36 hours between now and when it has to be ready. Oof. It will definitely be interesting. It will definitely be interesting. And then the wife will drive it for the first time. At least that's the plan. Y'all will find out on Wednesday if this actually worked. Yeah, that's going to look great. It's going to look great. It's a lot of greens. It's a lot of green, silver. It's thematic. Yeah. What's not to like? All right, everybody. Put that guy right there. Put this guy right here. The pumpkin on the other side is weirding me out. So, we did it, everybody. If you enjoy soccer and you're watching it throughout the week and the weekend, I won't hold it against you. Different strokes for different folks. We all love different things, right? We all come together in our collective joy of tiny toy cars that go a variety of speeds, primarily slow. Pumpkin wrong side is flipping weird. One more of these, and we get one of these. I wish there was more of the screen that was screen. Oh, that's cool. Good times. Good times, everybody. Thanks for joining us here in the Canyon. Look forward to seeing you in the next one, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to get me a coffee drink, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to drink that coffee drink, and I'm going to fit this body to this thing. And hopefully it doesn't try to kill me. It wasn't too bad fitting the body to this one. So let's hope for the very, very best. Coffee drink with loud music, 100%. There will be body fitting and extremely loud music. I will see you in the next one and all the other times. I'm going to turn the cameras off. I'm turning the mic off. Yeah, don't die. That's the best advice to everybody. Don't die.